Hey there, Sartre here. I just wanted to check in with you guys, give you sort of an update on my countdown to casual status. Everything going well with the bub. Bub is still due in a couple of weeks here. My countdown is now 10 days to go until officially countdown casual status, unless of course Bub decides to come early, in which case that might get accelerated a little bit. Of course, I will let you guys know as soon as Bub is born, happy and healthy. I'll do a post, a YouTube post on it, so everybody is fully aware, especially if that happens before the end of my countdown to casual. So 10 days left. September 30th is when I officially go casual. Just a reminder of sort of like what that means as far as me as a content creator. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop playing the game. It just means that I am going to not stress about getting content out. Certainly not like day one content type of stuff. I'll still try and get some videos out to you guys, when I can. When the bub comes, it's going to be crazy. I don't really know like how much time I'm going to have to play the game, much less to actually do content. I will say the content that I do produce after going casual, it's going to be a lot less of my sort of walkthrough guides where I'm like talking to you guys, going, nice and slow and walking you through every step of the process. I really didn't even start to do walkthrough guides like this until like maybe a year ago. Like when I first started doing guides, I didn't talk at all. I would just record. I would sometimes put background music on, or I'd just let the game music take over, and I would just post stuff with no commentary at all. And that's probably more of the type of content I'm going to start doing after I go casual. Probably a lot less of the talking through it, a lot more of just the quick, here's how I did it, you guys can figure it out type of stuff. So you guys can still look out for that content. Sometimes, some people like that content more than like the walkthrough guide. Some people don't like to hear people talking through. I know, when I was, before I became a content creator, and, I was looking at YouTube guides to help me through certain content, before I quote unquote got good. That's a joke. I certainly used YouTube guides and content creators before I became a content creator myself, and to be honest, I actually preferred guides that didn't talk through it. And for guides where people were talking, I would mute it, because I wanted to watch and I wanted to see, and then I wanted to try and replicate it as best I could myself. And it sort of helped me. That actually helped me become a better player, I think. Now this isn't to downplay those folks out there that prefer walkthrough guides. Not at all. Because I certainly understand if your purpose is not to necessarily get better at the game to the point where you don't need to rely on guides, and all you really want is you just want to be able to get through the content, collect the rewards and move on, then yeah, walkthrough guides are probably definitely better for you. And so I don't want to downplay that at all. But I think I'm just going to get back to doing more, or sorry, I should say less of those walkthrough guides. If I do have time or find time to do walkthrough guides, especially for more complicated stuff like Clash of Wills, or if any more trials come out later that are more complicated, I'll certainly try and find the time to sit down and actually do walkthrough guides for those types of things. But I'm not going to stress about it. Certainly not on day one. And so with that said, starting this week with the upcoming Clash of Wills, I'm probably I always like to do my level 99 no mods clears. I like to do several different no mods clears for you guys. I'm not going to do walkthrough guides of those. I'm just gonna post them, no walkthrough. I will probably do a walkthrough guide of my rank 1 clear, because that'll be probably a lot more complex. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and put that out there. I'm gonna sort of start scaling that back. All right. So just giving you a heads up on that in general. A couple other things I wanted to talk about here. We had the live stream the other day, and there were some promising things, some promising stuff coming out of that live stream. I was actually pretty excited about the Parasite Eve collaboration. Not to the point that I'm going to pull on it. I don't think I don't think I'm going to pull for it unless the vision card is really good. The vision card has promised to be like a must pull. You can see I've only got 44,000 lapis, so I actually don't have enough lapis to go all the way to pity on Aya. And my rule of thumb is if you can't pity a unit, don't pull on it. All right, and so I am not planning to pull for the unit, but I might pull for the vision card. But yeah, I mean, I loved Parasite Eve. This was actually one of my all-time favorite games growing up. Really liked the game. The story was really neat with sort of like the mitochondria taking over and like, you know, people spontaneously combusting. It was like, it was pretty cool. And yeah, it was a really fun game. I really enjoyed it. So I do have some fond memories of Parasite Eve, but not enough that I'm going to like, you know, go crazy to try and pull this unit. But the vision card is kind of interesting. Let's take a look at it. So not her vision card. Her vision card is trash. But there is on the step up banner. So it has a vision card step up banner. I think it's actually, let's take a look at that real quick. What's the, let's see, is it the usual? Yeah, 15 plus. Yeah, so this usual 28,000 in order to get the step up card. So 28,000 lapis, which I do have. And the vision card, it's some decent stats. It's strictly for an attacking unit. All right, but it's got some HP on it, which is nice. The art's kind of nice. It looks like Ellis Sparris on there. And then the 135 attack, which is, you know, fairly standard. It's not super great, but it is what it is. Everybody gets 100% attack and HP and 500 HP and attack. That's nice. So that's unrestricted. That's really great. And then the second thing is what I'm most interested in. It's the boost damage of certain LBs at the beginning of battle. And so if this works like Cool Smile with the, you know, mod boost to morale-based LBs, I might seriously jump on this. If it's something more akin to like, you know, Titus's STMR or Blades of Black Flame Reagan's STMR, I might hold off on it. I also want to see what the modifier is because, you know, Cool Smile did a 50 times modifier boost to morale-based LBs. Now that was like a year ago or more. So it might actually be a slightly bigger mod buff. We'll just have to wait and see. So I'm kind of waiting to see what that's going to look like before I decide if I'm going to pull. And then the last thing is for FFBE units only, but it is a ramping dark amp that can be cast on any ally. It's not a self-only buff. You can, of course, you can cast it on yourself if you want to, but you can also cast it on anybody else. And so that could be very useful on dark teams. We know the upcoming Clash of Wills is weak to dark. Dark is looking like a very strong element right now. You know, Ibarra is, of course, still very strong. There are, if you're using Ellis Sparris out there, she's of course really great on dark teams. So this card could be pretty useful. That is about the only thing that has me thinking about pulling on this banner. So I'll think about it and we'll see. I'll certainly let you know. If I do end up doing pulls, I might do a pull video and just so you guys can see what I get. But yeah, we'll think about that. I might actually see how I do in Clash of Wills before I decide to pull anyways. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, and this was actually from right after maintenance, was the player feedback survey. This was actually really cool to see. I'm really glad that that Gumi is putting this out and actually wanting to get our feedback on some specific issues that the game seems to be having. Clearly, Gumi is responding to a big loss of income in August because several of the questions on this survey are linked specifically to the banners, the units and the banners that were up in August. So I think finally there were enough people that decided to close their wallets last month that it actually got Gumi's attention. And so the survey was really great to see. If you haven't done this, please go do it. If anything, do it for the 500 lapis that you get. All right. I highly recommend you do it. I highly recommend you do it just so you can make your voice heard. However, there are a lot of places where you can actually, you know, type out responses to certain questions. You can say you're satisfied or dissatisfied. The typical sort of radio button type of poll thing. But then you can also make your voice heard in your own words. And I want to stress that you be respectful in your responses. Don't just type like "Gumi is trash," "You guys suck," "I'm not paying you any money," "Stop being such a shitty organization." Don't type, because that stuff is absolutely not helpful. Constructive criticism is going to be the most effective in surveys like this. And so I definitely want you guys to make your voices known and make your voices heard, but I want you to make sure you do it respectfully. I tried to be very succinct in a lot of my answers, but I certainly did not hold back in what I was dissatisfied with. My biggest gripe and my biggest dissatisfaction with the game currently is that I do not feel that they are investing in the future of the game through new innovative content, new trials, new content that a longtime veteran like myself gets excited about. Clash of Wills is no longer new content. I made note of how they, So what I did is I tried to frame it positively for them. I said, Clash of Wills was a huge success for FFBE. And when it was implemented and it was this innovative, new, incredible content that was really great and inspiring for players, to join and invest in the game. And then I mentioned the following year after that, they rebooted the Chamber of the Vengeful with the Morgana trial, with the promise of more trials like that coming. And I try to use that to as a positive experience that I had with the game. And then, after I sort of, set them up with these positive experiences that I had, I then said, this year we have had very little in the way of new innovative content, and you've actually taken away any future hope of more trials from the Chamber of the Vengeful. And that, that does not inspire hope for the future and does not inspire me as a veteran player to want to invest in this game. And so that was my response to that question, because that is my biggest grievance with the current state of the game. Whatever yours is, make it succinct, but definitely let them know how you're feeling. I think it's really, really important that you guys do the survey. It's the only way that they are going to know what they can do to try and make the game better. I'm really hopeful that they take the criticism and they actually do some, implement some action based on our criticisms. I'll be really interested to see what, if they're going to, if they're going to share any of the results of the player feedback survey. I would be very interested to see what types of results they get. I doubt they will, but we might start seeing some response from them, from the devs, in the coming weeks in like upcoming live streams and things. We already saw something in the live stream currently about how they're going to buff Elisperis because so many people said Elisperis was just not a good unit. And so, that type of response is really good to see from the devs. So hopefully we'll be able to see some similar responses from the player feedback survey. But anyways, I just wanted to put that out there. I think that's really important. And so thanks you guys for listening to me. Sorry, I know this one was a bit of a ramble. But yeah, that's about all I have for you guys on this one. 10 days left on the countdown. I don't think I'm going to do a preparing for Clash video. Sinzar already did one a few days ago, and he pretty much covered everything. So I don't want to beat a dead horse or anything like that. So I don't think I'm going to do a prepping for Clash video this time around. I will say, actually, before I go, that is something I wanted to touch on. They did make some they mentioned in the live stream that they're going to implement some new sort of twists with Clash of Wills, where like, if you hit a certain phase, it's going to enter like bonus time or something like that. That wasn't really well defined or well described in the live stream. So I'm going to kind of wait, reserve judgment on any of that until that's finally implemented. It'll probably be broken when it first comes out anyways. But something that I did notice when I was looking through this is that they have changed the number of turns for clear and replaced that by the final morale value. So I think this is hopefully going to be the new norm going forward. I would really love it if they just get rid of the turn count score and, you know, do final morale value. That would be fantastic. I would love that, because then we don't have to stress about getting it done in 10 turns. You know, you can kind of take your time. It opens up a lot more team compositions. So I'm very excited about this. I really hope that this is going to be the new thing going forward. They've also made a couple of other changes. So the score cap for the maximum amount of damage, which is normally 2.5 billion, that is going to be increased. We don't know what it is yet. Maybe it's like 3 billion, but it could be higher. All right, so they've done that. That's going to start this week. They've also increased the maximum amount of morale at Echelon 5. So you need to build even more morale to reach that morale score. It looks like they've also finally fixed Remedial Will. I know that's always been sort of a joke ability. Like, no one ever uses Remedial Will because it does a full dispel on the party. So what I'm hoping, it looks like, it looks like they finally fixed it so that it is a perfect dispel on the party, so it just gets rid of debuffs. That's the hope. I guess we'll find out when we get in there. But yeah, like, it's such a for the longest time, it was such a troll ability, because you'd go in thinking, oh yes, I'm going to get rid of all these like ailments or breaks or whatever, and then you click it and it fully dispels your party and you're like screwed. So I hope they're finally going to fix that. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to touch on that real quick. I thought that was really neat. But anyways, thank you guys so much for following me. Sorry for the ramble. If you're still listening, you are amazing. Thank you guys all so much, by the way, for all the support that you guys gave me in my last countdown to casual video. Like, you guys are so awesome. You know, you all make this, you know, so much fun. And thank you for coming along on the ride with me for these last couple of years. It's been a lot of fun. You know, it will be sad to see it go. But who knows, maybe in a couple months, if the game picks up and things are looking good, I might come back and start swinging again. Who knows? We'll see. But thank you guys so much for following me, and I will see you on the other side.